Welcome to the installation video of the CURT 16120 Q16 fifth wheel hitch. We estimate this installation to take 15 to 30 minutes depending on your level of expertise. These are the tools necessary for the install. This video will show the assembly of the Q16 fifth wheel hitch with the included leg kit and hardware. The Q16 product can also be paired with the R16 fifth wheel roller. However, this video will only cover the assembly of the Q16 and leg kit and will be set up in a vehicle with base rails already installed. Here are the components that are included in the 16120 box. We'll start by assembling the handle. Begin by sliding the handle assembly over the end of the handle mount bar on the Q16 head. Insert the latch spring into the slot on the handle mount bar and slide the handle assembly into place. Next, insert the first M8 bolt and lock washer behind the latch spring. You will probably find that the spring is blocking the hole. To move the spring out of the way, simply push the handle in and slowly pull it back out, and the spring will be moved with the handle. Now insert the M8 bolt. To insert the second M8 bolt and lock washer, slightly pull back on the handle, compressing the spring just enough to align the holes, and insert the bolt. Secure the bolts to the latch plate, making sure that the orientation of the latch plate is correct and the notch section is facing up. Alternate between the two bolts while tightening to evenly draw the latch plate up to the handle. Pulling out on the handle while tightening the bolts will make this process easier. Gently tighten the bolts, being careful not to crush the handle assembly tube by over-tightening. Tighten the bolts just enough to flatten the lock washers. Make sure the handle can freely slide in and out. If the handle does not slide freely, the M8 bolts will have to be backed out. Test the handle to make sure the lock bar latches into position. Complete the handle installation by inserting the safety latch pin. Now we will move on to the body assembly. To make this process easier, we will remove the head assembly. Remove the large pivot pin, then pull the head assembly up and out. You may need to hold down the midsection while you pull up to free the head assembly. Before you attach the legs of the fifth wheel, you will need to know the required height of your fifth wheel hitch. The Q16 is adjustable from 13 to 17 inches. To determine the required height, you will need to do some measuring. Make sure your trailer is on a level surface and use chock blocks in front of and behind the tires. Adjust the front lifting jack as needed to make the trailer as level as possible. Now, measure from the ground to the trailer's kingpin box skid plate. We will call this measurement A. Next, measure from the ground to the surface of the pickup bed. This is measurement B. Now, all you have to do is subtract measurement B from measurement A, and you will get the required height of your fifth wheel product. It's also important to note that the clearance between the pickup bed rails and the trailer should be a minimum of 5.5 inches. Now, back to the assembly. On the midsection of the fifth wheel hitch, the top holes are for the 13-inch setting, the middle holes are for the 15-inch setting, and the bottom holes are for the 17-inch setting. For this example, we will be assembling the hitch at the 13-inch setting. Attach the leg weldments to the midsection of the hitch using the supplied M14 hex bolts, lock washers, and washers. Do not fully tighten the hardware. Loosely fasten the bolts hand tight. This will ensure a good fit when you insert the hitch into the base rails. We will torque this hardware to the proper specifications after the hitch has been installed into the base rails. Now we are ready to mount the hitch into the base rails. Before we attach the Q16 to the tow vehicle's mounting rails, check the base rails to make sure that they are properly installed and parallel with each other. To check this, measure diagonal dimensions from the same reference points. The measurements should be equal. Lift the Q16 assembly into the truck bed and lower it into the base rails. Secure the hitch by installing the 4 half-inch rail mount pins and clips. Torque the pilot bolts to the values specified in the included instructions. Now, reinstall the head assembly and secure it with the pivot pin. This completes the assembly and installation of the CURT 16120 Q16 fifth wheel hitch. To open the jaws of the Q16, simply remove the handle's safety latch pin and pull the handle out and back. When coupling to a trailer, the trailer's kingpin will seat into the opening of the fifth wheel's head and the jaws will lock into place. For more details on the operation and coupling of the Q16, refer to the included instructions. And be sure to read and fully understand all of the instructions prior to using your new CURT Q16 fifth wheel hitch. Check out other CURT products for your ride, and thanks for watching this video. Always remember to bring it.
CURT, the first name in towing products.